Stop everything you're doing right now. Because what I'm about to tell you will completely change the way you look at Roman Reigns, not just as a WWE superstar, but as a man. Roman has finally revealed what really happened during that quiet, emotional visit to Hulk Hogan's wife after the Hulkster passed away. And it's not what anyone expected. This isn't about title matches or rivalries. It's about legacy, loss, and one emotional promise, made in private. Just days after the wrestling world was rocked by the heartbreaking news of Hulk Hogan's passing, tributes came pouring in from around the globe. The Undertaker, Triple H, John Cena, even legends from WCW all came forward with stories about Hogan's impact on the industry. But one name was silent. Roman Reigns. No tweet. No Instagram post. Nothing. That silence made fans wonder, why? But what they didn't know was that Roman wasn't ignoring Hogan's legacy, he was preparing for something much deeper. A private visit to Hogan's home in Clearwater, Florida, to sit down with none other than Linda Hogan, the woman who stood beside Hulk through it all. This wasn't a publicity stunt. Roman didn't bring the bloodline. There was no Paul Heyman by his side, no cameras following him. It was just Roman, real name Joe Anoa'i, walking up the steps of Hogan's home as a man, not a character. And when Linda opened that door, it wasn't a superstar she saw. It was someone grieving, someone who needed closure. They talked for over an hour. No interruptions. No spotlight. But now, for the first time, Roman is telling us exactly what was said. Roman said, and I quote, "I told her. I didn't come here as the tribal chief. I came here as Joe. As a kid who used to watch Hulk Hogan tear it up with my dad and uncle back in the day. You see, Roman's family, the legendary Anoa'i dynasty, shared the ring with Hogan throughout the 80s and early 90s. The Wild Samoans, Yokozuna, Rikishi. They all had history with Hogan. Roman shared with Linda how Hogan personally welcomed him when he first came up to WWE's main roster. He said, Hulk didn't have to say anything to me backstage. But he did. He pulled me aside and told me, keep your head high. Lead with honor. And never let the business change who you are. And that's something Roman never forgot. But here's the twist, Roman told Linda he regretted not saying that back to Hulk before he passed. Roman continued. I told her I was sorry. Sorry, I never told Hulk what he meant to me, what he meant to all of us in this business. Because I thought I'd always have time. I thought there'd be one more conversation. One more handshake. One more brother. Linda listened quietly, and then she cried. Because what Roman said next was a moment no one expected. I told her I'm going to keep Hulk Hogan alive. Not just with words, but with action. I'll make sure this new generation knows who he was. Not just the entertainer, but the fighter. The warrior. The man who stood tall when the world tried to knock him down. Linda was moved. She reached out, touched Roman's hand, and said. He believed in you. Even when you didn't know it. He said to me once, that kid. Roman, he's the real deal. He'll lead them all someday. Roman was speechless. For all his dominance in the ring, all his power as the head of the table, that one line left him emotional. Because in that moment, he wasn't just the tribal chief. He was the legacy bearer. Roman Reigns made a promise to Linda Hogan. A personal vow. I will make sure Hulkamania never dies. Every promo I cut, every arena I step into, every young guy I mentor in that locker room, they'll hear his name. They'll feel his presence. Because there is no WWE without Hulk Hogan. He added one more line that shook the wrestling world when he shared it later. He walked so we could run. I'm not above Hogan. I'm walking because of Hogan. And that's what separates a champion from a true leader. Roman left Hogan's home with more than memories. He left with a new mission. Not just to lead WWE into the future, but to make sure the past is never forgotten. Hulk Hogan may no longer walk this earth. But his legacy now lives through the most dominant force in modern wrestling, Roman Reigns. So the next time you hear Roman Reigns say, "Acknowledge me," understand this. It's not just about dominance. It's about respect. Respect for those who paved the way. Respect for Hulk Hogan. And that is a legacy worth acknowledging.